Now, isn't it interesting that the Food and Drug Administration offers tips on how to reduce exposure to these types of frequencies? I will include that link as well, where you can exactly see what they say and how they warn about these frequencies. Now, on to lead paint, which ties into this. I know you may be wondering about how this regards my question that I posed in a social networking site, which was, is lead paint dangerous? According to the volumes and volumes of literature on and off the net since 1978, when use of lead paint in paints was banned in the US, that was in 1978, lead paint has been considered dangerous to the air, dangerous to the soil, and dangerous if ingested. Now, it can be ingested through dust, if you're sanding, or by eating it directly, or when it leaches into soil through water or rain. Now, it is said to be a danger to children under 6 as it causes brain damage and even childhood leukemia, especially if the paint chips are ingested or eaten in minute amounts. Keep in mind, millions of toys by various companies have also used and still do use lead in some paints on toys. Granted, most toys are not made in the US. Anyway, homes built before the end of the 1970s, specifically 1979, have lead paint either inside or outside. Even to this day, if an older home has paint that was neither cracking nor peeling, and then latex paint applied to it, well, guess what? That home, according to these researchers, is considered toxic. Now, here's where it gets fun. In 1957, tests done on lab rats by the U.S. Army revealed that lead and mercury in cans and paints on military vehicles and other items posed a serious health risk. At that point, workers cleaning or painting or spraying vehicles or buildings were given optional masks. Optional masks. Now, right about that time, they were doing other experiments, also on lead and mercury, and found out, and they always knew, that these two components could be extremely deadly. Let's go to the 1970s, when the Department of Defense and several large utility companies or power companies received funding to set up the power gridding system around the US. Mind you, the power gridding system or grid system already existed in 2 provinces in Canada, South Africa, and in parts of the Northeast United States. It had been that way since the 60s. But most of us were unaware that this was the precursor to what we see today and what's happening today, with not only Gwyn towers but also new add-ons to those old towers which emit a stronger pulse or signal pattern, and to add to those the new telecommunication towers for cell phones and wide area networks for Wi-Fi signals. And you have now deadly unseen current of electromagnetic radiation, which, by the way, lead paint disrupts and or blocks. The brain damage and learning deficits that researchers of the time, 70s, 80s, and now even, attributed to lead-based paints was more than likely due to poor nutrition and environmental stress of poverty. Did any of these studies include those factors? I doubt it. How often do you see a child, even a hungry child, eat paint chips from a wall or from a windowsill as if they were potato chips? Case in point, there was a commercial that came on television back in the late 70s and through the 80s of a small melaninated child eating supposedly lead paint off of a windowsill as if he was consuming potato chips. This no doubt was used to pull on the heartstrings as well as program the mindset of the public. Now I'm just pointing out holes in research of the past and how it either was part of or fell right into a pre-planned agenda, for example, the grid system. And speaking of these EMF, ELF waves, yes, it has been shown in a variety of studies that they can be used as a weapon and they can alter brain activity. And they can even be used to send audible language signals into the brain, bypassing the body's normal aural, AURAL, receptors of the ears. And by the way, many police force guard systems, I guess National Guard, use EMF and ELF type friendly weaponry to control crowds. So, yes, lead is detrimental to the body when ingested or injected into the body. But wait, if they are two detrimental elements to the body, then why is mercury in vaccines, especially those intended for children? Just something to think about. Time for email. First email, Pharaoh, what